Welcome to the 2019 Red Raider Coaches Show. I'm your host, Joe Hayes, and with me I have our head varsity football coach, Keith Goss. And Coach, welcome to our first Red Raider Coaches Show with Keith Goss.
Excited to be here.
We are live on set here at Subway. We could not thank Mr. Ron Williams too much. Coach, this food, is it not good?
Oh, it's great stuff. Always a great meal here at Subway.
Well, I had to go with the BLT, you know, it's Bacon County, so I had to get me a bacon sub, which is very, very tasty, I might add, with a nice beverage and a pack of chips. And I think you even got you a little peanut butter cookie over there.
I managed to get a peanut butter cookie.
Well, we appreciate Raider Nation tuning in and enjoying our show, and we just kind of want to educate you guys on what's going on with Red Raider football. But first, Coach, a lot of sponsors this year that have come on board, some new, some old, but a lot of support for our Red Raider football program, and I want to give them a little recognition, you know, right up front, because without them, I don't think any of this could be possible. First, I want to thank Bacon County Hospital and Health System. You know, we're very fortunate to have such a nice hospital here in Bacon County. Coach, you have to utilize it if we have a player gets injured.
That's right.
Carry them over there. They also help us with getting x-rays, MRIs, things of that nature, and also if we buy a lot and different things like that. So there's several ways that we can utilize them, and we definitely want to thank them. Next, we want to thank Industrial Forge, Mr. Ted Murray, a phenomenal company. They make specialty bolts, and he'll make bolts for nuclear reactors and electric motors, and just a really unique company that, you know, we're proud to have here in Bacon County, and they support our football program, you know, tremendously. Mr. Ted Murray is just one of the most humble people, nicest people that you'll ever meet. Blueberry Plantation Inn and Country Club. It's like having a little Augusta National right here in Alma, Georgia.
It's a beautiful course. I don't hit anything straight on it, but what a wonderful place.
Well, Mr. Ted, he, you know, has invested so much into the golf course, and you know, they renovated the bunkers. Brandon Bowen, the superintendent, does a outstanding job of the course conditions. To me, it's just one of the best courses around. You know, we have people come from Vidalia play here, Douglas come and play here, Waycross, Pierce County. So, you know, a lot of people from even outside of Alma come and enjoy the course just because of how good the conditions are, and a very good price, I might add, too. So it's not that expensive to play, especially for what you're getting. So we, you know, again, guys, if you can get out and support Blueberry Plantation, you go by the inn. We've got a hotel here, we've got a restaurant, a phenomenal facility. You can do weddings, just all kind of things, business meetings, for you to utilize their facility there. So if you haven't seen it, get by there and check it out, and if you stop in, let them know how much you appreciate them supporting Red Raider football. Last, we got Parker Food Mart. Family-owned business right here in Bacon County. Even the owners, they played basketball, they played football, just big supporters of all Bacon County athletics. And you can get fuel, you can get a pizza. They've got some fine pork chops and hamburgers. Every time I go in there, Coach, my wife, I think she likes, her favorite things, the tater babies. She likes them tater wedges, the little small ones.
I got some of those when I went through there about a week or two.
Yep. So get by and check them out at Parker Food Mart. Again, local-owned company, big supporters. All four of them that I mentioned are platinum sponsors, which is our largest sponsor that the Touchdown Club does offer. We give them recognition by putting it on the field, and we paint their logos on the field, and you know, we want to get them as much recognition as possible. A few of our gold members, I just want to run through them real quick. We want to thank ATC, Titan Modular, Daniel and Cassie Moore, Larry Waters Properties, Pineland Bank, State Farm, F&B South, Andy Cawthorn Auto Sales, Clean Air and Electric, Burt CPAs, Southside Church of God, and Lassiter Tractor Company. Coach, again, I don't think we can make any of this possible if it wasn't for all these companies that we've listed and what they do for our program. And can you tell us how their support actually helps us?
Absolutely. You know, having the money to go out and do things for the guys as far as a nutrition program, as far as getting some of the equipment, some of the things we needed. We had to get new headsets this year. We were able to go out and purchase new headsets. I wanted to get a new two-man Crowther sled. We were able to get a sled and really it's a great teaching sled. It has a base pan on it and really helps when you're learning how to drive block, and we're trying to teach those things right now. So we were able to go out and make some big purchases, really thanks in part to all the things that these companies have been doing, donating and making it possible.
Absolutely. Coach, Ben, we talked about the Touchdown Club. You know, they're the ones that really go out and do all the legwork and go speak with the companies. You did yourself. You go to a lot of them and introduce yourself. But a lot of the Touchdown Club members actually go do that work too. And we got some new officers this year, kind of changed things up. And some of those I want to recognize. We got a new president, Mr. Larry Taylor. He's actually the owner of Burt CPA. Very, very nice, and I think he's going to be our future mayor. So he's actually, how lucky are we that we've got the president of the Touchdown Club.
He's staying busy.
That's right, and he's going to be our future mayor. Our vice president is John Hughes, another one of our big sponsors with State Farm. John Hughes does so much for all of Bacon County athletics. He's so involved with just not only football but other sports as well. We want to thank him. Heath Carver, he works at the tax assessor's office. He is our secretary. He helps keep notes and a log of everything going on so that we can share with everybody. And Miss Lisa Hughes, she's our treasurer. That's John Hughes' wife, and again, that whole family. Going. Yeah, she does. And she does all the running, taking the checks to pay people, giving you the check to pay for the sled, getting the check to pay for the
she's on the move.
Yeah, she is.
She gets it done.
So we want to thank Miss Lisa Hughes for what she's done. So many other people within the Touchdown Club that have done a lot of work. You know, Laura Hayes, my wife, Aaron Andrews, JT, Jason Taylor. You know, he's done a lot this year. Brent Johnson with Red Raider Broadcasting. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Mr. Gary Taylor. I mean, I can sit here and name person after person that we're fortunate to have this kind of support in such a small town. You know, people are hungry for success in our football program. I think everybody likes what you got going on, and that's what I want to kind of go into now. And I know I've done some radio shows and put a few things on Facebook, but Coach, you want to just real quick, you know, just tell us a quick rundown about yourself, because some people this might be the first time tuning in and getting to see you.
Well, my name is Keith Goss. I'm originally from Jacksonville, Florida. I played my college football at Valdosta State University. This is year 18 in the business, and just happy to be in Alma, Georgia with my family and getting ready to get things cranked up here.
Well, Coach, you brushed some pretty high up shoulders at your time there at Valdosta State. What you want to name a few of that the coaching staff that you played under while you were there at Valdosta?
You know, I was fortunate enough to be coached by some real good guys offensively. The head coach at Samford, Chris Hatcher. Our defensive coordinator my senior year was Kirby Smart, and
that's
I know that name.
That's right.
That name's pretty familiar. And then my junior year, our defensive coordinator was Muschamp in South Carolina.
That's right.
So I've come across some real good guys back in the day.
That staff has really went on to do some pretty big things, and they won a national championship while they were there at Valdosta, and you were able to be part of that, correct?
I was only a two-time conference champion.
Okay.
We laid the groundwork.
I got you.
But
well, somebody had to get it started.
We got it started, and they kept it rolling. I think they have 4 national titles now, including one last year. I was pretty excited. Some of my guys from my previous head coaching job, 2 of the 22 starters played for me at McIntosh.
Okay.
So that was pretty neat. I drove out to Texas for the national championship game and was able to watch them play, and it was an exciting time.
Good deal. Well, Coach, we've started off season here. We've had 2 scrimmages. I would say one and I don't even know there was a quarter.
No,
it
was like
wasn't
one in
even-
about 6 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. So 1 in 6 minutes, and then we actually had a regular season game that we were actually to get in a full game against Fitzgerald. Let's go back and talk a little bit, about ATCO. When they come rolling into town, and man, I've seen those guys come on the field. ATCO's a lot bigger than what they have been in the past. They've really turned that program around, doing a lot there, and but I think our Raiders played well for that first scrimmage under your new offensive scheme and defensive schemes.
I was proud of our guys. We, there's always things to correct early on, and but we had over 315 or 20 yards of offense. Defense, there's some things that we're shoring up week by week, but it was a good first test for us.
Yeah.
Obviously, we rolled a lot of guys in and out, but it was a good experience for our guys. We had some success. We found out some things we needed to work on, but I felt like it was very positive after that first scrimmage.
And then going into the Brantley County scrimmage, unfortunately there was only about 3 or 4 plays, and then we had the lightning delay, and that was it.
I would have wished we could have got on the field offensively. We never even got a drive in, so that was frustrating. But you gotta do what you gotta do when it comes to weather. And
kids' safety, definitely. We have to put that at a top priority.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, especially, there's been a few cases throughout the U.S. where
one at a golf tournament the other day.
Yeah, just up in Atlanta at the Tour Championship, 6 people got injured.
And it looked like a clear day.
Yeah, it looked like a clear day, and had 6 people get injured and hit by lightning. So I know it's frustrating. A lot of people don't understand it, but at the end of the day, we are responsible for these children, and
Absolutely.
We want to make sure that they're safe, and we don't want to get anybody hurt.
That's right.
So, Coach, we go rolling for our first regular season game to Fitzgerald.
Yep.
A perennial powerhouse. Football is everything over there, has been for quite some time. They've got a really good program.
That's right.
I would say in 2A, they're right there usually in the top 2 or 3 programs in the public school system in the state. I know we've had a few private schools in and out, but Fitzgerald, they've really been in the top 5, I would say.
They're a solid program. They do a great job over there. They've consistently made a commitment to the weight room, and that showed with their players. They're stronger, a little bigger than us right now, and that's why we have to do the things we're doing with the weight room and nutrition to close the gap between us and programs like that. And that's the type of program we're looking to build here.
Yep. Well, Coach, I know you say that's the program you're trying to build. You guys have been really hitting it hard in the weight room and trying to get that, dialed in, and our guys doing a lot of heavy lifting. We've had a lot of increases. But also another thing that you've had to change is the culture within the program. And I know, it's a hard thing to talk about, but, I want to give you the opportunity to kind of explain yourself, because I know some people have heard, we had to leave a few players home before we went to this Fitzgerald game, and
we did.
I want you to be able to explain why that happened and what took place.
There's guys that have missed practice or other disciplinary reasons, and if they're not going to do the right things, they're not committed to getting on the field. We expect them to be at practice. We expect them to, if they're not going to be at practice, be able to communicate why, have a doctor's note if they're sick. Heck, most of the time, I think you could take whatever medicine you got to take and show up at the practice field and at least get a mental rep and let your teammates see that you're committed to being a part of it. And those are things I believe in, and we're going to get better at those things.
But that's good, and that's what it takes, I feel like, to build a program, is to have that discipline. And, and it's just something we have to do. There's some groups of kids that get it early on, and they do the right things, and then there's some that are going to test the waters. And that's just, it was my generation, it was probably your parents' generations, just as kids in general. It's not a Bacon County specific thing, but it's just letting them know, here's the rules.
There's
no bending.
That's
I've
right.
drawn my line in the sand.
This is the rules and the expectations to be a Red Raider, and that's something that's gonna, I'm sure we'll have challenges with some this year.
Yeah.
But the longer we do it and we stay consistent with it, and we understand that's what it takes, the commitment level it takes to move this program forward. I think people will respect it. I think it will build and make us a stronger program over time. I'm not going to sacrifice one or two games, or sacrifice to not have an opportunity down the line because I didn't hold people accountable in the beginning. So,
well, Coach, going back to that Fitzgerald now, so rolling into Fitzgerald, we had about 8 players that did not ride the bus, correct?
Either they didn't ride the bus or they didn't start.
Yeah.
There was about 2 to 3 that didn't ride the bus, and about 5 or 6 that did not start. Now they played as the game went along, but they did not start that night because they actually.
So the ones that you actually let come to the game and be on the sideline had maybe an excuse, but they did not relay that to you in the way that they should.
Right. There was either no communication, or I knew they were sick because I did. I researched why they weren't there, and then they came back the next day and Coach, I was sick. Well, I know you were sick because I went and found out about you, but your job is to communicate.
That's right. And we'd have to do that for a job. That's just teaching young men to be men.
Absolutely.
And that's something that they're going to have to do when they finish school, and they've got to learn. And
learning
you just
accountability.
can't. That's right. You can't just miss work and not come in the next day and just expect to show up and them not ask where were you at or
That's right.
What's going on. So, Coach, I commend you. For instilling that and putting that discipline in place. And, at the end of the day, I know we want wins and we want to teach X's and O's, but ultimately it's about teaching character to these young men.
I think, X's, the X's and O's, that we'll get there on that. It's just going to take a little time. But winning football games is a byproduct of doing the little things right. You do enough of those little things right over time, your team will continue to improve. The character of your team will improve, the play of your team will improve, and you'll start building a program.
Well, going now back to that Fitzgerald. So we roll in, we're 8 players short, and we go out, we starting against a very large 2A program, so their numbers are just about double the players on the sideline of what our numbers are. I know it was probably a little intimidating to some of our kids, especially the freshmen or the younger guys. This is their first time, coming to a varsity football game and stepping on that varsity football field. But I felt like our Red Raiders got in there, and once they got comfortable, they played all the way through, and they fought hard, and that was one big thing that I saw. Our guys never quit.
No.
We can't sit here and say the guys quit on us. There was some execution issues and things like that, but that's just learning. That's just the guys where we're at.
That's right. And we had several freshmen that got in there that played considerable minutes that are going to be really exciting in the years to come. And your first high school game, you step on the field and you're going against Fitzgerald, which is a 2A power. And you mix it up and have some of the gains they had, made some of the tackles they had. I'm excited about our future. And it's getting everybody on the same page and doing the right things week in and week out, and we'll build what we want here.
Well, Coach, we definitely took some pretty big bumps and bruises in that game.
That's true.
Mason Michael, our starting quarterback, he went out pretty early in the second half, and we don't know yet. I know what exactly he suffered a knee injury, and it could be something that it may be a few weeks that he may be back. We'll just have to wait and see, what the diagnosis is probably on Monday. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll find out more about that in time.
Yeah. And then the other one was Christian Gurley, starting offensive and defensive lineman, right? And
That's correct. I think he'll be good to go.
He may be good to go. It may be a stinger or something to the shoulder, and I know a lot of those key starters, you don't want to push it too hard, especially going into that game. We kind of held it back just a little bit, get some of those younger guys some playing time and some experience. And what was some of the things outside of all that in that game, Coach, that kind of stood out to you? What was some moments that shine, some things that you saw? I know you guys just watched film with the players here just 30 minutes ago. And what was some of those things after watching film that you saw, some positive things?
Well, like I said, some of my young guys really shined. Our young running back, he's going to be good as time goes on. We had a lot of guys, it was trial by fire, and some of them jumped out there and kind of felt their way around early. But as you were saying, as the game went along, you could see them coming off the ball a little better. And that was on the offensive, defensive front. And so we're going to take these things, we're going to build them. I mean, obviously we're not where we intend to be in the future. Hopefully we're going to keep building week by week. And so each week we're a little better product going in the region, and hopefully get things going where we want.
That's good. Was there any big negatives that you saw out there that you kind of, the major things that you want to correct?
I'm never a fan of silly penalties, not silly, but careless. And there was a couple offsides penalties that hurt us, especially when we were driving the ball and had those, 2 or 3 drives that were kind of clicking a little bit for us at one point. And for those to be stalled out by offsides penalties, that's a lack of focus and something that we have to fix as a team.
And would you associate that with a lot of some of the guys being younger guys and just that lack of experience, or
some of that? And then it's a little different with every quarterback as when they snap the ball.
That's right.
And the timing, and obviously there was a new quarterback and a new center. So I think that messed with some of the timing, and it affected our receivers, because it was our receivers that had the issue. They should be looking at the ball anyways, but the timing just wasn't where it normally is.
Well, Coach, I appreciate it, talking about that. And we're going to take just a real quick short break and get our sponsors a little recognition, and we'll come back and we'll talk about our opponent next week that we got to face, and go a little further in what we may have to do in the quarterback position and some of the other details. So, Raider Nation, we'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to Red Raider Coaches Show, and here with head coach Keith Goss. I'm your host Joe Hayes, and Coach, we kind of broke it down, let everybody know where you're from. We talked about our sponsors, we talked about our touchdown club, we talked about our scrimmages and our game against Fitzgerald, and some of our injuries as well. Now I want to kind of go in, we've got a really big opponent that, I say big, it's big to Bacon County. You know, we're going to go this week, I guess I can say now it's Sunday, so Friday night we're going to face Pierce County here at home.
That's right.
In the Big Red Monster, and you know, I can't wait for you to see it, Coach, because Raider Nation, they really show up for this game. I mean, it's a rivalry that goes back to the beginning of Bacon County football. It used to be the city of Patterson, you know, and before they actually had a Pierce County school. And so a lot of the old timers, it's war. It is literally war. And our Red Raiders have rose to several big occasions and took down some big Pierce County Bear teams. They're a 3A school. Now they're larger than us. They got a lot of larger student body. They got more athletes on the football team. A larger coaching staff, a larger weight room, you know, just everything they got over there is bigger than what we got. So it's a pretty big opponent that we got to face. You know, Pierce County this year, last year they were under the reign of Jason Strickland.
Correct.
Coach Strickland took them to the Final Four.
Final Four.
Yeah, so they made it to the Final Four. They went undefeated in the regular season, were region champs, and then, and like I said, made it to the Final Four. And the mighty big Ware County stepped over into the city of Blackshear and tugged on Jason's polo shirt a little bit and said, "Hey, we want you over here." And Coach Stevens, that was at Ware, he went up to McEachern. I think he went to McEachern. Up in Atlanta area, and then so Coach Strickland left Pierce County and become the head coach at Ware County, and got a lot of things going there. He's putting in new offense, completely different of what Coach Stevens had there, but you know, Pierce has got a new coach now that come from Alabama, I believe, and either his wife or somebody had ties to Pierce County. I think his wife grew up in Pierce County, maybe.
I believe that's right. He coached there years ago. I want to say my first year, he was the DC there under Craig Davis.
Okay. Well, he, you know, he's a familiar face to Pierce County. He's been there. His wife's from there. What can we expect out of the Pierce County Bears this Friday? You know, has he changed up the offense? Has he changed up the defense from what you've seen in the first scrimmages of what they've been showing?
Well, I mean, he's a 3-4 base guy. He has been for a long time. So they're going to play with 3 down linemen, 4 linebackers. You know, he likes to bring pressure off the edge. That's just what they do. You know, they're going to be a physical bunch. They'll be well coached. They'll be gap sound, and you know, defensively. So it's a good group defensively, and you know, offensively. Jim Rivera, an old friend of mine, is his offensive coordinator, and there'll be some flavor of Wayne T, no matter how he dices it up that night. He might do it from the gun and mix a few more things in and have a little single wing flavor, but I promise you, at the end of the day, it's going to be Wayne T scheme.
I got you. Well, I know on film they look really big. They've got up front, you know, the old dogs, you know, down on the line. They got some size. They
got some big boys, no doubt. And I know one of their offensive linemen, Jernigan, and I think he's a Auburn commit.
That's right, he is.
And I know his dad. His dad actually took me on my recruiting trip at Valdosta State. He was my host.
How about that?
Small world.
Yeah.
And he's their athletic director over there now.
Right.
But no, you know, they're a talented bunch. You know, they're a good team, a good program, and we'll have to play well to beat them.
That's right. Well, Coach, you know, the biggest injury that we had last week against Fitzgerald, losing Mason Michael, our start quarterback. You know, we had to bring in an underclassman, put him in. He kind of got settled in and started moving the ball well, and you know, we actually had a few really good drives down the field. You know, how's that going to change things? You know, I know you kind of built your offense around Micah and his athletic ability. You know, are we going to have to change up some there and with this new quarterback?
I mean, you're always going to try to build the offense around what your guys do the best. And so we'll make adjustments and tweaks to things that we believe will help him and his skill set. But, you know, next man up. We're going to keep moving forward.
That's right. Always that way. And, you know, it's exciting to watch because as a fan, a lot of times when we watch big games, you watch Georgia or you watch the Atlanta Falcons and you know, you see a star quarterback get hurt, but so many times, how big is it when you have a guy come in that is a backup that shines? And I know there's a few in the NFL that you know, it was just really exciting to watch. They came in and did big things, and right here locally to us, you know, Jake Fromm, and you being part of the Houston County program where Fromm was from over there. You know, Jacob Eason went out in that very first game, and then Jake Fromm come in and
Never look back.
he never looked back. So when you say next man up, that's next man up. That's a textbook of what it needs to be. And you know, and I know our Bacon County Red Raiders are going to fight hard to be that next man up. And I was impressed with what I saw. I know we didn't come away with a win against Fitzgerald, but again, we worked hard. A lot of young guys made improvement as the game went on, and you know, that's you know, about all we can ask for in that situation.
You know, we're in the process of building what we want here, and you know, there's times that's going to take patience, hard work, discipline, and it's not going to be instant results.
That's right.
And that's tough things for people to hear in a world where you want information, you pull it up on your phone and you get it 30 seconds later. But football doesn't work that way. You got to put in your time. You got to get stronger in your weight room. You got to put the right things in your body. You got to rest. You got to learn. You got to learn the scheme offensively and defensively, and on special teams. So there's a lot of things you have to do to be successful, and it's not going to happen overnight, but it will happen.
That's good. And Coach, your coaching staff, I'm really, really excited with the guys that you brought on with Coach Watson, Coach Regal, Coach Sellers, which right up the road from Appam County, was a quarterback up there, played for you while you had a little tenure there at Appam County.
Long time ago.
Coach McKenzie, Coach Brown, who am I missing?
Coach Colby.
Coach Coley, and
Chief.
Yep, and our chief, Coach Phillips.
That's right.
Took me a minute, but anyway, we got a really good staff with a lot of football history. Like these guys, Coach Sellers just came coaching at the college level. You know, he played in college, start quarterback. After he graduated, he went on to coach at that school. He's come in here, Coach Watson. He had tenure with Brooks County's coach, Coach Freeman,
For years.
for years.
Two different spots.
One of the most highly known coaches in the state, kind of Hall of Fame coach guy.
Absolutely.
And not kind of is.
He is.
Yeah, he's up there with McWhirter and those guys as far as wins.
He's done just a tremendous job in Brooks County.
And so he's been with Coach Freeman a long time, and then Coach Brown, he's been at Ware County, here at Bacon County. He coached over at I think it was Glen Academy, and over in Brunswick. He was over in Thomasville, big name that he worked with over there, and a lot of experience with Coach Brown as well. And then Todd Regal, Coach Regal, his dad was the head coach at Ware County, had big success. He grew up with a football dad. He's a football player. He played, and just a lot of knowledge there. He coached at Coffee under his name just slipped my mind. Pruitt, Robbie Pruitt. So, Coach Regal, he's been over there a few years with Coach Pruitt. They're having a lot of success over there. So, it's been exciting. They've been bringing some ideas from each of these programs. It's really good to get these guys in and give us ideas too. What they've kind of learned over here, these little things, and what coffee does, and what we can actually, what'll work for us.
Will work for us.
Yes,
that's
not
the big
all
thing,
things will work for us.
Not everything's a fit from one place to another, but there's plenty of places to get good ideas.
Yes.
And we try to borrow and see what fits us here in Macon County.
Well, that's what experience does, and it's no different in our job. And this is your job, so that's why you've worked so long at this. Is you grow every year in this business. If you do not grow, you're behind. You're not going to be in it much longer. So you got to stay on top of your game. And again, Coach, I'm really excited about this staff. I'm really excited about you. I thank you for your time. For coming out here. We want to thank Subway, Mr. Ron Williams. During the break.
I had to hold
back. Yeah, I had to hold back because I so bad wanted to go ahead and finish it. But we want everybody to see this delicious food sitting here, and just nice, clean place, great food, healthy food. My wife tells me I need to eat here more often because I'm bad about getting some French fries and some fried chicken.
This is my daughter's favorite place to eat.
Yep. So this is definitely. I can eat healthy food and I like it. That's my favorite thing about it here is it's actually good. We want to thank all of our platinum sponsors, Bacon County Hospital and Health System, Industrial Forge, Mr. Ted Murray, can't thank that guy enough, Blueberry Plantation Inn and Country Club, again Mr. Ted Murray. We want to thank him and all his employees, all their staff, and we want to thank Parker Food Mart. Again, just huge, those companies, platinum sponsors. Guys, let them companies know how much you appreciate their support for Bacon County football, because we cannot do what we do without their help. It would be a lot harder to do.
Would be.
And we appreciate Raider Nation. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We expect everybody to come out for the Pierce County game. It's going to be a tough fight. Get out and support them, cheer them on. Win or lose, we're Red Raiders, and and that's what I love about this town. It's what I love about Bacon County, Alma, Georgia. There's no finer place. There's no finer program. We've got something really proud that we should be really proud of here, and I know I am. And Coach, you wouldn't be here if it didn't mean something to you.
Absolutely. And, I'm excited to be here and get this thing going. Like I said, it's going to take a little time. It's going to take a lot of hard work.
Yep.
But I'm excited for the opportunity.
Well, Coach, we got you back. We got you back. We're here. You do what you got to do. We're going to come out, cheer you on, support our Red Raiders. And a couple of things when you're coming into the stands, we do have a raffle. We're going to be raffling off a smoker. This smoker helps raise funds for the Duck Taylor Scholarship. And we use those funds. The coach and staff selects a player that academically has the best grades and he performed the best on the football field, and we award that player scholarship. And and it's motivation to give those players something to work for. It's a pretty big scholarship. And Duck Taylor, he's one of the founding fathers, I say, to football in Bacon County, and he is a household name. His family, I hold to the, I put them on a pedestal because they are just some of the finest people, and everything they do, the support they've given our program, the kids, the youth, everything. I mean, they just poured their hearts into it, and we want to keep his memory going on for my kids and my kids' kids, everybody to remember that Duck Taylor legacy and what he did for Bacon County football. And two, for his family, because they made a sacrifice too with all the commitment that he had to make to our program. And the other raffle we're doing, we had Cohen's of Alma donated some tickets for the Georgia-Arkansas State game.
Arkansas State.
So we're going to be raffling off those tickets, and then we actually had Ashley Graham. She just donated 2 more, so Coach, I ain't even told you about that. I've got 2 more tickets that are really, really good tickets. They're like 50-yard line. I think about 8, 12 seats up roughly from the 50-yard line. So They're jam up seats. If you want to get there, we're going to be raffling those off as well, selling those tickets at the football game. We got some fresh new Raider gear. Got these hats come by the Raider trailer. See Laura Hayes. And she can hook you up. We got polos, nice gear. If you want to join the Touchdown Club, get with myself, Larry Taylor, John Hughes, any of us will get you hooked up. You can buy a season ticket and become a member for $50. So we'll hook you. That is a heck of a deal. You can get a season pass and a Touchdown Club membership, which is $40 to be a Touchdown Club member. So you can be a Touchdown Club member and 10 more bucks, you get a season ticket. So you can come by the table there. They can hook you up with one of them. And again, Raider Nation, grab everybody you can. Dress up in as much red as possible, and we'll see y'all there, and go Red Raiders.